Hello there. Thanks for tuning in. This is your final exam for this class. It was created by Mr. Pete Houston, but this video is being created to you by Mr. Brooks, your favorite of the two. And this presentation is also brought to you by Napa. Napa Know-How, along with Pepsi. Okay, here we go. Let's get started right away with number one. Alright, going to kind of help you out through all these. So here we go. Alright, you're going to set up a proportion. You're going to go x over 21 is equal to 10 over 12. Cross multiply and solve. Question number 2. We want to find the length of AB. That's this part here. So we're going to call that x. We're going to go over 9. That's the base of the small triangle. And then we got to go 18, because since this was the whole thing, we gotta go 18 for this whole side over the short side, which is 10. And you cross multiply and solve. Again, looking for AB, which is this part right yonder. I'm gonna say x over 21 is equal to 40 over 35. Again, cross multiply and solve. Be careful with your math. Use your calculator. To find AB in this one, AB is that part of the triangle. So we'll call him x. So we're going to say x over. Okay, I've done a little bit more thinking here on question 4. It's kind of challenging to set up. So here's your freebie. There's your answer. 78. So if you're watching the video, you got an extra. We want to determine a scale factor in number 5 of the dilation from A to B. Now it's kind of hard to see, but there's grid lines. Like here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, each you can kind of just barely see them. Okay, so this is 2 units wide, and this one is 5 units wide. So we went from 2 units to 5 units. Write the scale factor. All you gotta do is make it a fraction. Okay, question number 6. Again, we're describing the dilation. This time A to B, it's getting smaller. Okay, you see A, and this is A is 5 units, whereas B is 2. So again, write it A to B as a fraction. Okay, question number 7, we're doing Pythagorean theorem. So this would be your A squared, your B squared equals your C squared. Remember, A squared plus B squared equals C squared, okay? Question 8, same thing, Pythagorean theorem. I'm not going to rewrite the formula, but I'll label the sides. There's A, B, and that's C. Solve for the missing side. Same way, number 9. Okay, this is our A. This is our B. Of course, C is always opposite the hypotenuse. Right there. Question 10. Is it acute, right, or obtuse? So you want to make sure that this is your A. This is your B. This would be your C. Plug them into the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. Make sure you square them. If this side is bigger, it's acute. If this side is bigger, it's obtuse. And of course, if they're equal on both sides, then it's right. Okay. Okay, moving on. 11, 12 are the same thing. Remember, your C is always the longest side. Okay, so I'm not going to label them for you here. I'd like to think you can figure out who's the longest side out of these three, okay, and plug them into the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, moving on. Question 13, we got to make a proportion here. So we're going to say x, which is short leg, over 20, which is long leg, equal to 5, which is short leg in the small triangle, over x, which is the long leg. Now when you take x times x, remember you're going to get x squared, which means in the end, just like in Pythagorean theorem, you have to take the square root to both sides. 14, let's take x over 10, long leg over hypotenuse is equal to, okay, and this side here is going to be 26. You have to figure it out because since we went long leg over hypotenuse, we go long leg 24. We didn't know the hypotenuse, so I had to use Pythagorean theorem. I did that for you to figure that out. So it's going to be long leg 24 over 26. You can get a decimal on these. 15 is another, this is a gimme. Your answer is 13.4. Okay, moving on to the next page. So remember, we're going to label our sides. This is our reference angle. The 30 here would make us the opposite. This is the adjacent. This is the hypotenuse. So to figure out x, which is the a, we're going to use cosine of 30 equals x over, I'm sorry, whoops, can't use cosine, got to use tangent. My bad. Let's rewrite that, my fault. Got to use tangent of 30 equals opposite, which is 4 over x. Remember, when the x is on the bottom, just flip-flop those two around, so it's going to be 4 divided by tangent of 30. Now to get your y, we can use sine of 30 because it's opposite 4 over the hypotenuse, which is y. And again, change those two around, so it's going to be 4 divided by the sine of 30. And number 17, similar deal. These are hard to read. This is 45 degrees. This is 24. This would be the hypotenuse. Here's my reference angle, so that means this is the opposite. This is the adjacent. So to find x, you're going to again use tangent. 45 equals 24 over x. Again, flip, just change those two around. And to find the hypotenuse, we're going to use sine of 45 equals the opposite, 24 over y. And again, just change those around. Okay, question number 18 is a gimme. So for x, you're going to put in 7 radical 3 all over 2. And for y, you can put in 10.5. Okay, question number 19. To find the side AC, you're going to use Pythagorean theorem. So remember, this would be a, and this is a 5. That's 11. This would be b squared. This would be c squared, okay? To find the measurement of these angles, okay, we're going to use some trig. So again, let's erase this stuff out of our way. We want to find A. He's my reference angle, which makes this the opposite. This is the adjacent. This is the hypotenuse. So since we're dealing with opposite and adjacent, we're going to use the inverse of tangent. So you got to hit second on your calculator. opposite over adjacent there. And then to find angle C, these are just going to be reversed. So again, inverse tangent. And who's your opposite over the adjacent? I'll let you put the numbers in on that one. Okay, number 20 is a gimme. So you're going to put this in. 7.4. 54.1. And 35.9. Okay, for number 21 here, guys, we're going to give you a couple gimmies here so we can keep moving. You should have 18.7, 23.4, and 36.8. That's for 21. And for 22, this is Pythagorean theorem. So you need to do a squared, b squared, c squared. This side is your a, this is your b, which is 750 feet. This is 750. Right here, 750, and this is 2,000. Okay, so solve for a. Number 23, you're going to take a 2x squared plus 8x minus 17 equal to 8x plus 15. And you're going to solve for x. Okay? Moving on. They wanted you to figure out the measure of this here. Remember, it's going to be half of this number, so cut this number in half, you'll have him. Or, in number 25, you got to double this number to know what this arc is. So double this number, which is 62. This one is 106. And in number 26, same thing. You need a double 43. Okay, but they want all of this. So however many degrees this is that you get here, take it and subtract it from 360, and that'll give you GHJ. Number 27, all you have to do is add, this is 52, this is 112. You just got to add those and divide by 2. That'll give you the measure of angle 2. This is 168 for number 28. AC is x, so you got to take 168, actually x minus 168 divided by 2, and set it equal to 42, and solve for x. To do that, you would want to multiply by 2 to both sides first to get rid of the fraction. On number 29, I've just got it set up here. It's 8 times x equals 14 times 4. So multiply these together first and then solve for x. Number 30, I'm going to make that a gimme. 21.2. Number 31, they want you, oops, let me zoom out a little bit more. Remember, they want you to find the center and the radius. So what you need to do is take the opposite of these numbers. There's your x and y's. And then take the square root of 169. That'll be your radius. So that's how you're going to find 31. 32, we're talking about probability. So what's the probability that we're going to, on a die, that you're going to roll a 4? Well, there are 6 total sides on a die. What's the chance of you getting a 4? Put that number up top. That's for A. And for B, what are the odds? Okay, so what's the chance that it could be a 4? Well, it's going to be 1. What are the chances that it wouldn't be a 4? How many root numbers are left? That's your bottom number. That's what you're going to put in for 32. Okay, moving on here. So what's the probability that we'd roll an even number on a die? So how many numbers are even out of 6? Make sure you reduce the fraction on number 33, okay, for A. And then for B, okay, what are the odds that you would roll an even number? So how many even numbers are there over how many not even numbers? Okay, and that's what would go here. 34, make that a gimme. Okay, 34, let me zoom in here. They should have, whoops, 2/3 and 2/1. Okay, for number 35, in number 35, a multiple of 3. So that would be, I guess a gimme too. This would be 1/3, and this is 1/2 for number 35. 36, 37, 38, 39. These next 5 questions, all you got to do is put them in the calculator. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit the first number, and then you're going to hit the button P, R, B. Okay, and then it's going to bring up 2 choices. It's going to bring up a choice of the C and a choice of the P. You want to arrow over and circle for the P, or if your question has a C in it, make sure you select that, hit enter, and then put in the last number, and then hit equals, and you're set. That's how you do 36, 37, 38, and 39, actually. Okay? If you have questions, make sure you let me know. Okay, 40 through 44. All right, these are going to be a gimme because we haven't really covered this. 40 would be 336. 41 is 21. 42 is 5/6. 43 is 3/8. 44. Okay, now we're going to do a little bit of math. So what you got to do is you're just going to take the A, which is a 0.3, plus the B, which is a 0.6, and then subtract the A and B, which is 0.1. Okay, that's how you do 44. 45, very similar. We're going to take A plus B, so in this case they're percentages to make it 0.35, plus B, which we don't know, we're going to call that X, minus 0.2, and that equals 0.8. So you're going to solve for X. So I would combine my like terms first, and then subtract them over to the 8. Okay, number 46, to solve this one, all you got to do is take 1 minus 2/5. That's all you got to do. On number 47, all you got to do is take the A number times the B number. Okay, so 0.15 times 0.6. 48, you're going to set up this equation, whoops, 0.25 equals 0.6x, and solve for x. Same way in 49, it's 0.36 equals 0.4x. Okay, 50 is a bonus. Give it your best shot. That's the end of your exam. Good job and congratulations.